Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Hilda. Today's video is about mobilizing our hip joints, and I'm going to borrow and get inspired by a few techniques from classical ballet. Ballerinas have very mobile hip joints, and there are a few techniques that I've learned in my certification as a floor bar teacher that actually helps us to mobilize our hip joints, lengthen our legs, and connect to our core all at the same time. But the emphasis today is hip joint mobility and space in our hip joints. I'm in a Pilates studio, so I don't have a ballet railing. And if you're at home, you can also hold on to a bookshelf or a table or a chair or a clothes hanger railing. It's all good. For me, I'm just going to hold on to the pole here, this handle in the window chair. And I'm going to show you the hip mobility movement inspired by ballet techniques. This is how the overall movement will look like. First, we're going to do the ballet stance, the first position. Your feet externally rotated so that your entire leg, starting from the hip joint, is also turning out, externally rotated. And you may ask, where is the hip joint? So you can bring out your both hands and have your two fingers out, your second and your third finger. You feel this bony bit here, which is your ASIS. You're going to slide down along your bikini line halfway. Stop here. That is your hip joint. When you're ready, you can hold on to the pole or table or chair or anything you have beside you. Have one hand on the other side of the waist. Slowly start to brush your toes up to the knee of the standing leg. So it looks pretty much like a ballet movement. And then from here, I'm going to use my hand and bring the attention to the hip joint because that is where we want the movement to be. You're going to bring the leg in and out. In and out. Now have your fingers there. You will start to feel the movement of your femur or your thigh bone in the hip socket. So essentially you can imagine the femur is actually rotating, doing this movement right at the hip joint. Watch that your pelvis is square as I'm showing you right now. If you move your pelvis, I suggest that you decrease the range of motion. So you could just be moving like that, a little bit like a fishtail. It's all good. But if you can also go further. Note that my bent knee is very close. In fact, the toes of my bent leg is always on the standing leg. Okay, so make sure they are not this way and they are not doing this up and down. No, we want to stay close to the standing leg, keep to the center, and moving from the hip joint here. Okay, and release. Let's add more movement to the exercise. Slide it up. Do a couple of times of what we did just now. Stay. Now this time, I want you to separate your bent leg out a little bit and straighten out to the front and bend. And straighten it out to the back and bend, straighten out to the front and bend, straighten out to the back. Now watch that my upper body is not moving much. That's because I am not going very far with the legs, okay? You're only going as far as your hip joint allows. Bend and straighten out. As you straighten out, your back toes will touch the floor. That's all good. You don't need to go very far because we're not doing a leg lengthening or hamstring stretch here. We are mobilizing the hip joints here. One more time. Front crossing in the middle and back, crossing in the middle and come down. Let's do the third variation. This time we're going to keep the leg straight but still moving from the hip joint. You're going to bring the left leg out straight like I. Point the toes a little bit. Your toes are still touching the floor. Brush the floor, bring it back to center. Now brush it backwards and point your toes behind. Only go as far as your hip joint allows. And brush. Again. This time, see if you can brush and take it up a little bit higher and point the toes. Brush and bring it back, lift the toes a little bit and actually essentially lifting the leg. Again, lift the leg, point the toes, brush, crossing the center, lift the leg, point the toes. Let's do the other side. Brush your toes up. Rotate the legs in and out. In, out. Again, go only as far as your hip joint allows. One more time. From here, straighten the legs out to the front, crossing at the center, and straighten it to the back. Now note that I am not tilting my body forward. I'm staying fairly straight, so that means your leg need not lift up so high. Crossing at the center, straightening out in the front, center, back, center, front, center, back. One more time, center, front, center, and back. Bring it down. We're going to cross the center with straight legs now. Brush. Lift the leg a little bit. Bring it down. Brush. Bring it back. Again, brush. Bring it up. Brush and bring it back. Couple more times. All this while, make sure you have a slight feeling of pulling your belly button in and up. We don't want too much contraction in your belly, but we do want to engage the core. And down. Let's finish with something a little bit more challenging. So come to this external rotating stance, or what you call the Kung Fu stance here. And you're going to bend your knees. So make sure the knees are not over the ankles, only up to here. As you come up, you're going to put your hands now at your hip joint, and when you bend, you're going to brush along the inner thighs, lengthening out the inner thighs at the same time engaging it, but you're also moving from the hip joints here. So a few things happening. Again, you can add some breathing here, and of course you'll be breathing, so I meant breath work. Take an inhalation, exhale. Inhale here, exhale to come up. Inhale again, exhale to bend. Inhale here, exhale to bend. Now from here, we're just going to go a little bit faster. You can relax the breathing, but the purpose is see if we can go a little bit more each time. Okay, let's do 2 more. Stay, rest for a second, and now we're going to go down. Stay. Now, if you're at your comfort zone, I want you to push it a little bit more. Bring it down about an inch. That's where you need to be. Not so comfortable, but very, very helpful. And from here, helpful to our hip joint and our inner thighs. Bounce. 1, 2, 3. Go lower, like somebody is pressing your head down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go lower and slowly come back up. That's exercise 16 for you, mobilizing the hip joint. I hope you enjoyed it, from the preparation with the classical ballet techniques to the Kung Fu stance. I hope you find that helpful. Give it a go. You don't have to do everything in one day. A little bit every day goes a long way to help us improve our posture. If you like this video or content like that, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it if you can help me to grow my channel, as I'm trying to make more content like that in the area of movement for better self-care every day. So that's it for this time. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your viewership. If you're still with me up till now, stay tuned for the coming exercise number 17. And don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. And again, see you next time. Take care and have a lovely day.